America, I am proud. I am elated to have an esteemed colleague here with me today. You understand me? This one right here is definitely, undoubtedly, a real one. You feel me? He is somebody who covers not only the SWAC, he covers the wide world of sports in HBCU world. You feel me? He's been out there on that road, you feel me, lately, getting some real good insight. I think he was at SIAC Media Day, you feel me? This is one of them ones. You feel me? He's somebody I hope to have back periodically if he so graces me with his presence. You feel me? This is somebody y'all better go run him up. You feel me? You probably already know who I'm talking about. But if you don't, I introduce to you Coach Walker of tomorrow's Leaders Sports Network. Coach, what the business is, man?
What's going on, man? How you feeling today?
Man, I'm trying to get like you, big dog. I'm trying to get like you.
Man, I'm tired, boss.
I bet you are. You've been putting in that work, Coach. You've been putting in that work. But man, I ain't going to waste time. I ain't going to waste the people time. We're going to go ahead and give them what they want. Like I told them, you've been out there on that road. You know what I'm talking about? You've been putting in the work.
Yes, sir.
So you went to SIAC Media Day, man, and some of the schools in the SIAC are near and dear to me. I got one of my young boys out there playing right now at Fort Valley State.
Okay.
He was just at my house a couple weeks ago. What up, Robert Kendrick? I whooped them boys' tail in some shooting game. What up, boy? I had to whoop him, Coach. I had to whoop him. And Tuskegee, my mama graduated from Jackson State, but she started at Tuskegee. Okay. And Tuskegee is still like, it is something about it. She told me before she leave this world, she want me to take her back over there. You feel me? So I know the SIAC, people don't talk about the SIAC as much, but it still has a very, very strong hold in the culture, man. So how was it being at SIAC Media Day?
Bro, it was surreal, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got out the truck, man, to go inside, and I was just sitting there like, man, what is this gonna be like? What am I looking forward to when I walk in this building for the first time to really get an insight on what's going on? You know, what am I going to see today? And just like yourself, you know, you put out some phenomenal work. There's a lot of great platforms that were there that was covering what was going on with, you know, during the media day. And I'm sitting there, man, they how they got it set up. You come into the College Football Hall of Fame. You walk into the bill, you walk in, you go to your right, and they got everybody set up at the tables, you know, inside. So after you check in, they tell you what table you're at. You go to the table, you sit down. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at all these tables in here like, God, I'm like, wait a minute, where am I sitting at? So I'm walking around the room, I'm looking at everybody, you know, they already posted up, they got the cameras and everything set up, everybody's ready to go. And I finally find my table, get myself situated, sit down, start putting everything together. And, you know, I met Miss Keisha from Black College Experience. I met her on the way in. So it was phenomenal just having that conversation with her. She's like, Coach, come on, man. You're going to be fine. Don't you worry about nothing. You got this. Make it happen. Right. You know, make it do what it do. So, boy, let me tell you something. The man upstairs worked real mysterious. And I'm going to tell you why. I walk in the building. I'm sitting at table number 9, right? My table was 9. Her table was supposed to be table number 11. But it was somebody already posted up at the table. So my buddy had his camera and everything set up. He's ready to go. So she was sitting there looking like, wait a minute, you know, because originally I believe it's supposed to be like 2 to a table. And, you know, some tables didn't quite work out that way. But she went ahead and said, hey, I'm going to sit at table 10. I want my own table, right, to do her thing. And I'm sitting there looking, I'm like, wait a minute, whoa, you sit next to me? So I'm telling her, you know, I thanked her. I said, hey, I appreciate you. She's like, what you mean? I said, because, you know, all of the concerns that I thought I might have had was gone. Well, she said, Coach, you can do this. Just be yourself. Be yourself and do what you do. And I'm sitting there like, what? And it just said, boom. Man, let's light this thing up. Let's go. So I sat down, got to, you know, everybody's coming around. You know, all of the different schools are coming around talking to me. I got content on 10 different schools. It was 12 there. The two that I wanted to talk to the most, Tuskegee and Albany State, where my son goes to school at. I didn't get to talk to him.
Oh, okay.
But check it out though. I got to talk to Coach Ruffin though. I did talk to Coach Ruffin to the side. And Coach Ruffin, man, when I tell you what he's looking to put together over there at Tuskegee University, man, it's gonna be great. It's going to be great. They got the offensive coordinator. His name escapes me right now. He's going to become that guy after the season is over with, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't want to speak out of turn and, put that out there if it's not out in the atmosphere yet. But from what I'm hearing, he's looking to be that guy. And then Coach G. Coach G, man, let me tell you something. That coach, that young man there is phenomenal because I got to watch him during prospect camp. And when I tell you Coach G, boy, hey, Coach G a real one. Coach, hey, you want your name on this list? You better do something. I ain't got time for this out here. You want to walk around and act like you this guy? I don't care nothing about that right now. You need to get your name on this list. You need to get your name. I'm sitting there looking like, what the? Wait, what? I said, oh my gosh, Coach is wilding, bro. So right. I said, okay, you know what? And then I walked up to him. I introduced myself. I said, how you doing, Coach G? I said, this is Coach Walker for Tomorrow Leader Sports Network. He said, oh my God, I didn't get to your table. I apologize. I said, don't worry about it. I said, we'll talk soon. I said, but I want to tell you something. He said, what's that? I said, I told him my son's name. I said, I'm his dad. He looked like, wait a minute. Oh, I just love your son. I love your son. He's a great young man. I hate that I'm not coaching him anymore. He said, wait. He got to looking at me like, I'm trying to, I see him in you. I see him in you. And the funny thing was, he said, wait a minute. But he didn't get your size. I said, nah, he didn't. And then one thing that escaped him, he didn't get my size. But I'm like, man, that just sitting there soaking all of that in, man, and talking with the other. Even I got to speak briefly with Mr. Gaither from over at HBCU Game Day, bro.
Oh yeah, boy.
And because I'm a sponge. I like to see what's going on. I want to know as far as like the equipment. I'm asking questions about the equipment because I see what not only myself, you, as well as a lot of us out there are doing. Man, this thing could take off, but I want to make sure everything is on point. You get what I'm saying? Right, I don't want to give people no trash, bro. That's just me. Like I know a lot of folks like, Coach, you got all this content. Look, guys, I got to go through, make sure everything is sounding correctly, making sure that I don't want nobody out here looking crazy, man. I'm not like that. I can't do that to nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Real.
And I want for the picture that's being portrayed for anyone out there that comes across my platform, they're like, yo, this dude is solid. You get what I'm saying? So that's something that, I want to make sure. And that media day, matter of fact, I met some Jacksonians there. I met some folks from Southern. Whoo, boy, it's
they ain't get to arguing up in there, did I? Hope they.
It's funny because like a lot of conversations that's going on right now in the space across the HBCU platforms, as far as content wise, people putting out there. There's a lot of different things out there that people were really looking at like, okay, this makes sense, but nah, that's not gonna happen. Or, why would somebody put that in the atmosphere when, we kind of need to, reevaluate and see exactly where it's gonna go. And then one of the craziest things was I actually learned that sometimes we need to sit back, shut up, and wait to see exactly what's going to hit the table before we go with it. Because a lot of times, and I'm guilty of I am guilty of it as well, wanting to be first putting out content. And people don't quite understand that sometimes when you first trying to put it out, it ain't always accurate.
That's true.
And I didn't know there's a lot of folks out here, bro, that's watching what we putting out here that ain't subscribed to the channel.
Oh yeah.
And when I tell you, you feel it when you walk in the room. You get what I'm saying? And I'm like, because people are sitting there like, wait a minute, you Coach Walker? They're like, yeah. What's going on, brother? Hey, good stuff, man. Keep doing what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, and I was telling my girl, I said, babe, she said, man, what's going on? I said, I'm just trying to corral all of this right now because I'm like, she's like, what you mean? I said, I know you did good. I'm like, yeah, babe, I did great, but I'm just, trying to really embrace the experience. Like you, bro, when I tell you, you are the first getting all of this. You are the first getting all of this because I haven't even put it out there yet. As far as
right.
And I'm saying to you, I'm sitting there in that room and I'm just looking around like, man, Coach Ruffin, Coach Slater, Coach Brown, Coach G, you know, I mean, just all of these coaches that's here in our presence right now. And I'm like, God, dog, wait a minute. And I mean, it's the stories you hear up in there, bro. I got one that just still, I'm trying to roll that around in my head. I think Coach was being funny when he
said, that's what I wanted to ask you next, Coach. So when you get around us, you're gonna hear some stuff. You know, we're full of it, and especially when it come to our coaches, charismatic.
Right.
So I know it's a lot of stories.
Hey, look here. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Hold on. Let me make sure I want to make sure I got Coach name right.
Okay.
Coach Keaton over at Albany University, bruh. Him and Coach Lane over at Lane College. Y'all better watch out for these folks, bro. Coach Keaton and Coach Allen, both of them, they got young teams that they are building.
Okay.
You hear me? Coach Allen got 2 receivers over there at, Coach Keaton has 2 receivers over there at Allen University that they're putting together with a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback threw for 2,500 yards last season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, bro, 2,500? We ain't see a lot of SWAC quarterbacks throwing for them type of numbers.
Mm-hmm.
The receivers was, I think one of the receivers, might have been a 1,000-yard receiver last season. I got to go back and check it. I don't want to misspeak on that one, but bro, them boys building over there. Coach Brown over at Lane College, man, look, Coach Brown is a real one. I'm still trying to figure it out. Like Coach Ruffin is smooth. Coach Ruffin is smooth and cool with it. Okay. Coach Slater from Clark, he direct. He's still, he's getting his feet together as far as with rebuilding, Clark Atlanta University. Mm-hmm. Coach, let me get his name right quick. Coach Freeman over at Morehouse. Okay. He's putting it together. He's getting some things together that he's looking to make sure he have out there for everybody so that they can see. Coach Berry over at Benedict, bruh. I like Coach Berry. Coach Berry is fiery. It's like it's in him here. You get what I'm saying? Where he projects everything to folks to let them know, hey, listen, this is what we come to do. But Coach Brown, I ain't gonna lie to you. Coach Brown ran the ball. He was a running back for Grambling State University. Okay. He's the head coach over at Lane College. Mm-hmm. And when I sit and talk to the guys, their video is going to drop here in a little bit. I was talking to the guys, and they were just telling me, like, Coach, he on 10 every day. I was like, what? And, bro, the craziest thing was, how they bring the coaches up and let them talk. They let everybody speak, right? Right. So you got the commissioner, you got the not necessarily the commissioner, but you got the keynote speaker, and you got the coach up on the stage, right? And Coach Brown goes up on stage, and Coach Brown get asked a question about the season, right? Uh-huh. Coach Brown said, "Hey man, I ain't never played in a game in my life where Miles College, they playing against Miles College and Coach Ruffin, who was over there at the time. And I got to go back and check this stat. But he said Coach Ruffin ran the ball 50 times in one game, and they throw one flag. He said, where in the world have you ever seen one game? Where in the world have you ever seen a game like that played where you're getting out one home penalty or somebody running the ball 50 times? I said, dog, I'm done. I just sat there. I think I shut my camera off after that. I was like, Coach is crazy, bro. I like, but you had to love it though, bro. And I'm just sitting like, wow. Right. And and then you listen, like I was listening to Coach Ruffin and a lot of things that he dealt with, as far as with him being a coach and so on and so forth. And I'm just sitting there like, dang, okay, these coaches, just like these athletes, they go through stuff just like, ordinary modes. I'm like, okay, they're trying to they're trying to navigate their way through, life situations, just like the rest of us. Right. And even with the athletes, like the kids over at Lane College, they were saying, hey, Coach, people, they talking, oh, that's the same old Lane College. That's the same old Lane College. They not going to do much of anything. But I'm like, hey, if y'all ain't checked the resume on what's going on over there with Coach Brown and them young men he bringing in there, y'all better think about it again, because them boys is actually playing some ball over there. And not to mention, they played UAPB in a tight game. People don't, like I said, everybody not looking at that.
Right.
But see, come back, let's talk about Albany State. Now, Coach G, they ran the table last year, which they beat everybody in the SIAC. They held them, they goose egg everywhere. They had 6 goose eggs last season, right? Defensively.
Dang.
Yeah, they shut it down. Shut it down.
Okay.
But this is the crazy part. The crazy part is they had some turnover with their coaching staff. And basically, Coach G is putting it all back together, making sure he got everything in place. Now, when you look at FAMU was playing Albany State this year, I think the 3rd game of the season. Not yet. Coach G is putting it, he's upgrading as far as the athletes that he's looking to bring into his program, just like FAMU was doing the same thing. But see, this is the thing that a lot of folks don't quite understand. The SIAC, as well as like well, let's do it like this. If I'm not mistaken, FAMU played in SIAC. I could be wrong. So a lot of these relationships that you see with, these teams now, as far as them being in different conferences, as far as where they were previously, those relationships have always been there. You get what I'm saying? It's just like you and I. We're building a relationship that people would never understand. Like, dang, Coach Walker first, they down like that? Yes. I'm like, we have conversations off the air that people don't understand or know anything about. So this is the same thing that goes on with these HBCUs. There's history that no one really knows anything about, as far as going back to check and see, damn, they played these folks before? Yeah. Yeah. They played them way back. So that's why I'm like, guys, this is things that we really, when we dig into this, we got to really see, like, okay, how is this shaping up? Like Lane College. Lane College played UAPB. This will be their 3rd time playing them. So, and them guys, hey, when I tell you they looking to get a W this season, they ain't looking to come out there with another L. They are not. People are like, oh, it's the same old Lane College. They're like, It's like y'all look at us as the team that was undisciplined. Nah, Coach Brown ain't playing that. And trust me, Coach Brown ain't playing that for real.
Okay, I feel that. Well, Coach, I watched your video about all the noise that's out here about Jackson State possibly going to the Big Ten. And I know you probably have heard some chatter about that at the media day. People buzzing about that as well. For the real ones who may have missed your video about that, can you kind of just share your thoughts on that possible move, what that move might look like, and if it's even feasible?
This is my thing. And I actually have another video that's going to come out behind that one too.
Okay, bet that.
But what I would like to see, as far as like with us, we have to get out of the habit of looking at what we can't do. There's a lot of people saying that, oh, Jackson State, they crazy for trying to go to the Big Ten, this, that, and the third. I mean, in all honesty, we all know this conversation was sparked by what Coach Reed said on 247 Sports.
True that.
And a lot of people, they create their own content as far as what they want to say about it. Me personally, I looked at the dynamics of the financial structure as far as what all is it going to take for Jackson State to really be able to do that. Well, we already know daggone well, Jackson State, they're going to have to get a couple of more sports to come in there into the they're going to have to add some additional sports within the sports program so that they can get on that level as far as with being able to push that narrative of wanting to go into a Big Ten. Like I said, they can do it over time once they get the, necessary finances in place for them to be able to bring in the coaches and, do all the necessary things that they need to do, recruit the athletes into the program and go from there. But I mean, do I think they can do it? I believe they can, but I don't think it's like instantaneously is going to happen. No. One thing we have to look at is this. The financial ramifications is going to be steep. So definitely they're going to need to make sure whoever goes in and creates that whoever goes in and structures that deal, wherever it is that they choose to go, they're going to need to make sure that financially they're going to be able to manage that in some capacity where it's not going to be a burden on the university as far as them not being able to continue to get out there and compete the way that they want to compete. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of folks that's going to say, well, what about the pageantry? What about, you know, the history as far as, you know, the different teams that they played over the years, you know, the different rivalries and things of that nature. Well, first, guess what? I just specified. You got FAMU who played in the SIAC, right? Mm-hmm. If they played the SIAC and then they moved up, you know, continuously kept moving up, what are we talking about? Mm-hmm. That's why I'm sitting here saying, I'm like, we all have to go back and look and see exactly what's going on with that and get an understanding of, okay, look, these are the things that we're looking to do as far as building up our programs. People don't understand. Like, I'll give you a prime example. And to no ethnicity out there, I have no. This is not from a mean-spirited place. There's no malice with this, none of that. But I'll say this: I'm at a youth baseball game yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at a predominantly black team playing against a predominantly white team. With there was maybe, you know, I say maybe 1 or 2 black kids on that team, right? Uh-huh. And unfortunately, the officials, they didn't look like us. When in the world have you ever seen a baseball game where you have the umpire or the referee that's standing like behind, he's standing either left or right of the pitcher behind the pitcher's mound, and you have a umpire that's standing behind the catcher at home plate, where the umpire is looking for the referee that's out in the field to let him know whether or not it's a ball or a strike. Yeah, bro. I'm standing, listen, I'm standing, look at me. Listen, look, I'm gonna show it to you. I'm standing behind home plate behind the kid, right? Mm-hmm. And the pitcher, he throws the ball down the pipe. The umpire behind home plate, he said he do like this. And then finally, he'll say, ball. I'm like, wait a minute, what? I said, the ball was straight down the pipe, man. So it was getting to the point where a lot of the parents, they didn't catch it because my family and I, we got there for the second game. Uh-huh. We watching, I'm sitting there watching. And, you know, I'm just sitting in the cut. I'm like, okay, coach ain't gonna get in the coach mode today. I'm like, I'm chilling. Listen, I've been out in the sun. I did a couple of interviews yesterday. I got one getting ready to drop with AJ Terrell from the Atlanta Falcons. I interviewed him yesterday at a camp. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute. I said, no, bro, what are we doing? So I said, okay. So I back off. And then I watch, you know, when your girl get up, you got to really start watching. You got to start watching everything that's going on. I'm like, all right, she moving. I'm like, hold on, bro. I'm like, the queen moving around. Let me see what's going on. And she went over there. She got to talking to folks on the right, left hand side. I'm like, okay, I look. All right. I'm sitting back. I'm eating on my popcorn, just sitting there and watching. And then my coach, who I coach with, my head coach, who I coach Little League football with, this is baseball team, right? Okay. He gets kicked out the game. He gets thrown out because we all out there seeing what's going on. Now, I caught what was going on. And I'm like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me you're standing here helping the umpire call whether this ball is strike? So now the parents is like keyed in on what's going on. Like, wait, everybody trying to look at me like, coach, wait, like, we're not going to do this right now. Like, we're not going to do this right now. Like, we're not going to do this right now. Like, listen, right? Parents, they're fired up right about now. Uh-huh. And hey, enough is enough. I'm sitting like, enough is enough, bro. You created this, not right? You. So I said, okay. So now I get up out my chair. I come from up underneath my tent. I said, let me go walk up here towards the bleachers and see what's going on. So I'm standing behind the bleachers because they got some little low tier level bleachers sitting out there. So standing behind the bleachers. And when I say this is crunch time, this is crunch time because the game, I think they was up. They were winning. They were originally winning the game like 10-2. They let them come back and tie the game 10-10. So now if they're up, I think 14-10. And it's on a time clock. So they're having to get these last 3 outs to make sure that they win this game. So they put a new pitch up there. So I walk up, and the pitcher, you could tell he's nervous. They cramping. I ain't gonna say they cramping, but they're not bending when they throw the ball like they used to. Coach used to be a pitcher back in high school, so I kind of remember some things when they like, hey man, you got to bend at the knees to let that bad boy go.
Right.
So I'm watching the kid. He don't want to bend over and throw the ball, so he throwing high. He didn't walk the first kid on base. I'm like, oh no, this ain't looking good. But to his credit, he threw a couple of balls in there that were strikes, that were not called strikes. And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, you walked this kid. So I said, okay. So now I'm coaching.
You had to turn it on. Had to turn it on. You were trying not to. Had to turn it on.
Now I'm coaching. So I'm telling son, like, hey, relax. I said, hey, son, relax. I was like, look at me and relax. I said, you're playing catch with the catcher. Get the ball down and let's go. I'm like, let's go ahead and get it up out of there. And now the coaches in the dugout, they trying looking like, I'm like, hey, y'all relax. I said, listen, you're playing catch. Put that bad boy down the pipe. Let's go. I said, don't give it to him directly, but you know what I'm saying. You're playing catch. Get it to where it needs to go. Let's go. Little shorty got out there, man. Got on that pitcher's mound. Smoked him. Hey, he smoked him so tough. He went ahead. The last pitch that he threw, he struck him out. He did the gritty off the daggone pitcher's mound. I sat there like,
you ain't never seen that in baseball. Okay.
Man, he did the gritty off the pitcher's mound.
Okay.
It's just like, man, you sit there, man, you see these type of things and it make you wonder, like, where are we going with this? And I say all of that to say that we've been in sports forever. People don't quite understand the fact that, yeah, we've been putting on, as you like to say, put it on something. We've been putting it on for folks for God knows how long. But people never gave the credit to those that look like yourself and I who've been putting on since the beginning of time. We put somebody else up there because we want that to be seen. It's like narratives. Everybody want to create the narrative for it to be what they want it to be. In actuality, it's not like that. So what they're doing is they're force feeding us into believing something that's not factual. I say that to say this. If Jackson State decides that they want to go to Big 10, Big 12, Group of 5, CUSA, why not? People don't understand that these universities have been out here forever and a day trying to get finances to sustain their abilities to give us the education that they've been giving us for so long off of Band-Aid, spit, and chewing gum. I know that sounds nasty with me saying it that way, but it's the honest to God truth. If anybody out there has been to HBCU, they're going to understand one thing for certain is this. Look at the roads that we had to go down to make sure that we got the finances that we need in order to get to where we are. Matter of fact, the video that I got coming out is going to shock some folks because they're going to be sitting there like, wait a minute, you mean to tell us they put us in a box a while ago and we just not catching it? Yes. Yes. Jim Crow already said, put it in a book. They ain't going to look at it. Well, now put it online. We ain't going to search for it. This is the modern day of it. We're not going to go search for it online. Why? Because we are afraid of what we might see that might be a little shocking to us. But I mean, honestly, I would honestly love to see the conference itself move up. So that way, a lot of the pageantry, the rivalries, things of that nature stays together. But if it doesn't happen that way, that's understood. It's not like they can't, schedule games in there that people would really want to see. It's just a matter of how they structure everything to make sure that things go in the manner which they're supposed to.
Do you think if Jack State, FAMU, Grambling, somebody like that makes a move like that, or let's just take Jack State. Let's say Jack State does it, but they go alone, and they're in one of these conferences as the black school. You think they would face some of that stuff you were just kind of alluding to with not having the umpires that look like us, and black team versus the white team, and
we have it now. I mean, it's listen, there's a lot of it out there now as far as what's the word I want to use? Because I talked about it with the USC team when they played Bear Bryant's all-white team. You had a team that was mixed. It was a blended team.
Sam Cunningham.
Huh?
With Cunningham.
Right.
At running back.
Right. It was a blended team that they went in there and they kicked Alabama's teeth in. Alabama didn't expect that, and they did it in Birmingham, Alabama. See, that's why everybody see, we all get so excited talking about Tuscaloosa, but never understood that Alabama played their game where? In Birmingham. You know, that was their home field in Birmingham. So that's why a lot of these institutions that's out here now that are these big money-making institutions, they got this money from dang on going against the grain, doing things differently before, and now all we know is what's happening right now. So my take is I don't see anything wrong with Jackson State, Southern, Alcorn, Grambling, FAMU. I don't see anything wrong with any of them wanting to, you know, break wide and make a move. That we got to understand, man. I'm like, every day when all of us out here, I'm sure probably work a job, work a 9 to 5. You see a change happening every day at work. You don't jump up and down and tell your boss, daggone, hey, man, we don't need to do that. We need to go back this way. You go right on along with the change. So what's going to be any different from these HBCUs decide, hey, listen, I want to go to play in a bigger name conference. It doesn't diminish the fact that they're HBCU. It doesn't diminish the fact of the history that they've created. It doesn't diminish the fact of the rivalries that were had. Basically, now all they're looking at is, okay, let's find a way that we can still structure these games, you know, set up some type of schedule where we can schedule these games for us to continue to keep playing if it's possible.
Okay. Given your wide knowledge across the spectrum, I wanted to make sure I pull your coat on this one, Coach.
Which guy?
All right. We had 2 big moves for some notable programs. All right. We know at Southern, Coach Dooley is coming over. All right. And he's coming off of a SWAC championship game appearance with Prairie View. All right. And we know that Grambling is very excited about having Coach Hugh Jackson over there. So who do you think going into this year will have a more immediate impact this year? Okay. Coach Dooley or Coach Jackson?
I'm going to say Coach Dooley. Because it's twofold. I'll tell you why.
Okay. Yeah, talk to me.
I want to say Coach Jackson because Grambling's defense is already stout over there. So it's just a matter of them being able to move the ball. Now, if they're able, if I'm not mistaken, they're trying to run the offense that Art Browse, you know, was looking to bring into the program.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
And I'm still believing they're going to run that offense that Art Browse is looking to bring into the program.
Okay.
Coach Dooley and Southern University, they looking to get some get back for that daggone that Grambling game, that Bayou Classic that they lost last year. And man.
So are you putting it on something, Coach? Are you picking Southern in that game? Is that, are we making news here?
I'll say this. If Grambling is not able to stop Dumas and what's the young man, the defensive end? Is Jordan Love?
Dumas a bad boy.
What?
Hey, look, that's a bad boy. Hey, Jacktown down, but that's a bad boy. I gotta admit that. I gotta admit that.
Dumas, me coaching lineman, he is a coach's dream, bro.
Really?
On a little league level, he's that kid. I can say, hey, son, I need you to go out there on that field and whoop his tail out there, whoop him off the ball. If he get mad, start crying, and want to go sit in his mama's lap, you go with him. And as a matter of fact, if you out there too long, do Coach a huge favor. Knock his tail out of mama's lap, you go sit up there and dare him to come get you out of lap. Man, look here. Dumas gonna bring some pain to some folks, bro.
Yeah.
If your footwork is not on point, and you're not agile to get up out your stance like you need to, he gonna whoop your tail off the ball. Mm-hmm. And I honestly believe this young man has something more to prove, because you could tell. And I was at that game. I was at the SWAC championship game last year. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. With between Jackson State and PV. Mm-hmm. And he played like a man freaking possessed up there, bro. I mean, it got to the point where you had to, if the plays weren't quickly developing, he was on you. He was getting double and triple team. That's how serious it was. So I mean, I'm just waiting to see what they got in store for teams come this season. Don't get me wrong, Grambling definitely is building over there. Mm-hmm. The quarterback situation is definitely a question. They got another young man that's coming into the program, another quarterback. I think I believe he's been in now a couple of weeks. His name escapes me, but Coach Hugh Jackson is not looking. He ain't taking no shortcuts with this thing. He knows what's on the line. He knows there's a lot on the line right now. He's trying to do everything he can to make it happen, and that's what you want to see. I'm loving the fact that we're getting coaches in here now that are looking to turn this thing up a little bit. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the landscape of the SWAC, I mean, just HBCU sports in general, these coaches ain't laying down, man. They're trying to make their mark just like everybody else is. And that's what I like. And now the game that I'm waiting to see, the game I'm waiting to see is that daggone Alabama A&M versus Jackson State. I got to see school part 2 pop off.
Okay, well, I was about to ask you this, and I'm gonna wonder if it's the same answer there. I was gonna ask you, Coach, because you know now, I've told America that we will go undefeated this year.
I heard
Book it. I told y'all that, America. Okay, all right. But are you saying Alabama A&M is the team I need to be worried about, or is it somebody else?
I'm gonna say this. First. I'm gonna say this. You can't take nobody light at all this upcoming season. Mm-hmm. Because see, this is the thing, and I've learned this, through my years of coaching. You never know how your team's gonna come out until game day happens against a particular opponent. Mm-hmm. We had. I've seen teams in the past where you will sit there, you'll look at it and say, man, they should be wearing these boys out. Mm-hmm. But they out there on the field just playing lackadaisical. Everybody lazy, everybody's not really up. It's like everything is a step slower than what they anticipated. I don't think Jackson State is taking anybody lightly. Mm-hmm. Just like I don't think anyone is taking them lightly. But there's some folks out there wants to get back.
Oh, they won't spoke. You did this magazine cover and the Diddy thing, all the notoriety, all that kind of stuff. And some of the feelings, right, understandable. That South Carolina State beat us.
Right.
So a lot of folks like, why South Carolina State ain't getting that shine and y'all getting okay. I feel it. So I know we on people radars.
But check it out. Even with that, it's not about. See, a lot of folks got upset with that, and I might upset a couple of people when I make this comment.
Okay,
but I'm gonna say this: it's about the relationships with everything that's going on right now. Mm-hmm. I met Ed Reed this week.
I saw that. That's bad boy now.
Boy,
that's bad boy. My brothers got him as the GOAT safety, and they are 49er fans. They took him over running lot. Okay, they did, Coach. They did when we were running it down. That's how much respect they got for Ed Reed.
Boy, listen. One of the most humblest dudes you will ever meet.
Okay.
one of the most humblest cats you'll ever meet.
I heard some rumblings about him possibly wanting to coach at an HBCU. Did you pull his coat on that coat? Did you throw that out there real quick? Did you slide that one in there real quick, coach?
I'll put it. See, you getting it all today, bro. You getting it all today. I'll put it like this, bro. I turned into a groupie real quick. Oh man, I'm coming out of practice. I'm looking. I see him coming up. Like I'm walking out of practice and I see him coming up the hill. And I was like, man. And before I knew it, I said, man, that's Ed Reed. Because nobody saw him but me. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting there, I was like, that's Ed Reed. All of a sudden, Ed Reed. Ed Reed. I was like, damn. Like, God, no, I said, okay. I said, yeah. So I walk over to him and I said, hey, how you doing, Mr. Reed? You know, so on and so forth. And like everybody sit there, they crack up when I'm always saying Mr. Reed or Mr. So-and-so. Hey, coach, it's Ed Reed, bro. No. Even in the AJ Terrell interview I did, I called him Mr. Terrell. I
feel that.
Because I'm like, once I get to know him, I'll be like, AJ, you know, what you think about, bro, I don't know this man like this. So I'm going to give him the respect that he's due. You know what I'm saying? Just like Ed Reed, I like Mr. Reed. So he's out there, he's working with his son on baseball. His son played baseball.
Okay.
Boy, damn, first boy, woo. I'll go, boy, I'll try to, hey, hold on. I was trying to keep that one under the hat. I was trying to tell nobody about this one. I'm trying to keep that one under the hat, bro. Oh man, yeah. I did get him. I did pull him aside. I said, Mr. Reed, let me ask you one question. I said, what is the real deal as far as you wanting to coach HBCU football? I said, because I know you down there at the U. You're doing a lot of stuff down there with the University of Miami. I'm like, what's the deal? He said, straight up. He's like, he said, I have entertained some things, but if it don't make sense for all of us, and he's talking about his family, bro, he can't do it. And that's been something that I've been standing on for the longest. Like, bro, his kids are like his family gonna come before any of this.
Yeah.
If it's not based on what's going on with his family, make sure his family, you know, he's able to do what he need to do. It ain't going down, bro. Now, will it happen in the future? I think it may. It may happen maybe once, you know, they get in colleges, or something like that. We'll have to see, but it would have to be feasible for his family. And that's something that I kept saying. I'm like, bro, his family is everything, man. He's gonna make sure family's first.
That makes sense, and that's the thing you got to do. That's the thing you got to do as a father.
And like I said, I respect Ed Reed, man, so much, bro. I mean, Mr. Reed is he's that guy. I mean, to me, he is that guy. Like I said, he definitely said, you know, he honestly asked it. He like, yeah, I've entertained some things, but it got to make sense. And when he said that, like, hey, hands off, bro.
I bet he'd be a brilliant defensive mind too. Cause that joker there, as a player, making split-second decisions, just the way he can read things, anticipate things, and he talked about all the film study he put in. So if you give him an opportunity to game plan this stuff on out, whoa! And then the recruiting, because again, he one of them ones. He's one of those ones all time. So
yes.
Woo, it'll be crazy.
Mr. Reed would definitely be a true asset to this HBCU world. I mean, no ifs, ands, buts about it. But I'm just like, when you see people, man, that I put it like this. That man helped me understand just in that brief encounter. Like everything that I stood for as far as with dealing with my own kids, with everything that I've dealt with, from coaching to running a league, to having my own football program, to all of the different things that I've done out here. You know, like I said, my mentor, he and I had a program called the East Atlanta Rams, where we was in the heart of Atlanta, trying to help the youth, build that up to where, you know, we had these young men able to get out here and compete. You know, a lot of these athletes, they don't have the money to do this stuff. So guess what? We're out here doing fundraisers, bucket drops, things of that nature. Heck, my mentor, Coach Butler, he was digging in his pocket sometimes pulling that money. And, you know, I pulled money here and there wherever I could, but I'm just like, bro, people don't understand, like, what you really in this for. You get what I'm saying? So it's like when you sit down and you start looking at everything that's going on, that's why I look at everybody like, okay, y'all are people. You know what I'm saying? It's not, well, I'm doing this over here, you know, nah. Hey, listen, how can Coach Walker pitch in and help? If it's something that I can help do, cool, let's get it together, let's make it work. But if not, hey, I respect your space, I respect where you coming from, I'm gonna back off. I'm gonna throw my hands up and back off.
Well, how is that youth football culture out that way, Coach? Compared to like a Texas, I had a chance to really watch how they get down on Friday night. Tykes, I think that was on Netflix.
Friday night Tykes.
I said, my God, this is a religion out here. This is like the junior NFL or something. These folks here really taking this dead serious. How's the culture out there way in Georgia, right?
Crazy, yes, sir. Crazy, crazy. That was that was one of the conversations I had yesterday, because it's like, okay, you hear people talk about how, well, man, they trying to go get the best athletes to come over here and do this. They trying to, you know, they don't even coach athletes up anymore. I had a coach that put on a social media page talking about he wanted to tell his parents that they didn't need to go, you know, get trainers. They didn't need to go to these camps. So I said, man, okay. So me and the missus, you know, we sitting back, we looking at this. And she like, babe, what you are like? And I had to look on my face. She's like, oh, man, why I show you this? I said, yeah, where's this at again? So you know me, I went ahead and jumped in. Said, hey, and the guy, the coach, he know me. You know, I'm sure he wasn't favorable of what I had to say, but I basically told him, said, listen, how in the world is it you're going to tell parents that their kids don't need to go to camps? They don't need to go get trainers. Well, guess what? How are these kids going to get recruited? I said, heck, you got a lot of coaches out here on the park level that ain't coaching up. You got, they see these athletes out here, like, I'll give you for instance. I watched the big boy, one of the teams that we played some years back. They didn't believe in putting him in a three-point stance. So, oh, it's too uncomfortable for him. He does better, you know, standing up. Like, no. I said, if that young man wants to continue to keep playing football, guess what he's going to have to do? He's going to have to get in a three-point stance. When he leave you and go to middle school, what is he going to have to do? He's going to have to get in a three-point stance. He's not a freaking linebacker. He ain't even built like a linebacker, okay? I say he ain't a defensive end. He's none of that. He's an offensive/defensive lineman. Quit trying to daggone baby these folks and make them understand, hey, listen, if you coming out here, your tail going to get a three-point stance. I don't care nothing about you want to be lazy. I don't care about that. The bottom line is listen, this is the position I have you in, son. It requires for you to get in a three-point stance, okay? Mm-hmm. So now you're sitting here talking about how, man, we got kids that's coming into they're coming from middle school to high school. They don't even know how to get a three-point stand. Boom, you just went ahead, you made my point for me, okay? This is happening on the rec level. So if it's happening on the rec level and it going to middle school and it comes to you, now what are we talking about? Now let's fast forward back to the comment that he made. You're saying that these kids don't need to go to camps. Well, guess what? Are you helping them get in school? What is your rate based on 100% every year of your graduates that you are getting into someone's college being recruited through football? You can't give me that kind of number because I know that number ain't what you want to tell nobody. Mm-hmm. So again, when they get to college, guess what they're going to have to do? They're going to have to get with a trainer to make sure that their stuff, their tools in their toolbox is on point in order for them to touch that field. Because if not, guess what's going to happen to them? They're going to be right back here with mommy and daddy talking, well, you know, they ain't want to give me a chance. You know, the coaches hate me. They don't, bro, I don't want to hear that. I really don't want to hear that. That to me, that's a load of bull jump.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. And, you know, because I put it like this, the baseball team, back to the baseball team. One of my football players play on that baseball team. Mm-hmm. I walk up, me and the family walk up, and, you know, we sitting there, And the young man turned around. He said, "Hey, Coach Walker, what's going on?" I said, "What's up, son? You all right?" They're like, "Who is that?" He said, "That's my football coach." I said, "What?" I mean, "That's my dog right there. You know what time it is." I mean, you know what time it is. Tell him again, son. That's my football coach. They're like, "My man." But like I said, bro, when you love on them, man, you can get these young men, young women to do anything that you need for them to do out there on that court. The thing is, when it's all said and done and they're no longer playing for you, and you see them out in public, and they're walking towards you, you want them to keep walking towards you to come say, hey, coach, how you doing? What's going on? What's going on with you over such and? Are you still coaching? What's happening? Just having, some type of conversation. But if you see that kid that's walking towards you, turn around and go the other way, you didn't have an effect on that player. That's not something I want to do. Anything I put my hands on, I want to have some type of an effect for people to say, hey, that dude over there showed that he cared. He understood what's going on with this thing. Hey, I might not have liked everything that he said, but it showed that he cared. And that's what it's all about. Because, I mean, bro, hey, we all they got, man. If we're not giving it to them, who gonna give it to them? The streets? I don't need these kids in the streets, man. But this football, year round, bro, it don't stop.
Well, shout out to you for that, coach, because I launched something called Operation OG. We had I've been mentoring for forever, seemed like it. But a kid, young lady, jumped off a bridge here in Mississippi and killed herself. She left her high school and jumped off a bridge. And I saw all these people having their opinions on it and what people aren't doing for the youth and stuff like that. I was like, man, come on, let's mentor them. Right. There's a child everywhere that needs somebody. So shout out to you for, mentoring through coaching, somebody giving that game through coaching, so for real, salute to you for that. But this been dope, coach. As I told you, I would love to have you back periodically. As y'all see, America, the brother knows his stuff. He's across the board in the HBCU space. But before we get out of here, coach, make sure you let them know where they can follow you at.
Hey, y'all can follow me at Tomorrow Leader Sports Network, as well as on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. On Instagram at TLSN12, Instagram TL Sports Network, Facebook TLSN. And also one last thing, the scholarship, if you apply for the scholarship for the first Tomorrow Leader Sports Network scholarship, that has closed. We're not accepting any more of the papers, the essays. We're not accepting any more essays. We're now start sitting down, breaking down on who we're going to announce going to be the winner. So, hey, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. Hey, if y'all not tapped in the first, y'all better do it real fast, because this man is putting out some great content, letting you guys know what to expect, what's going on around here out in these HBCU spaces, as well as what's going on with the culture itself. So tap in, tune in, tell a friend, and tell them to come on in. Y'all know what time it is. My man first. I appreciate you.
Ain't no doubt about it. And make sure y'all go over there and do what he told you. Tomorrow's Leaders Sports Network. Make sure y'all go do that right there. It costs you nothing. Subscribe. And I got to say, Coach, I love the name of your company. I love that because, as somebody who's steeped in history and politics, keeping up with that stuff can zap you of your hope. You feel me? So the name of your company really makes me think about hope. Like, dang, maybe we do have some leaders that's coming up tomorrow. You feel me? And I know sports help cultivate that.
Check this out. My nonprofit is Tomorrow Leaders Youth Foundation. So I have a nonprofit as well that's been going on now for we're going into our 12-13 season. 12-13 years. Yeah.
That's dope. Well, shout out again and salute to that, because that's bigger than all this other stuff. I know what we have to do. We entertaining people, but hey, it's obvious. Well, the real one, y'all know how I get down, but y'all well with Coach that he shares a similar vision. You know what I'm talking about? We're trying to entertain y'all, we're trying to educate y'all, we're trying to inspire y'all, but at the same time, we're trying to help people in our communities. You feel me? Right. So make sure y'all stay down with the real and hit that button. It costs you nothing. You understand? Appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate you, brother. Talk to you soon. All right.
My kids wanted me to tell y'all to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me across all social media platforms, like the videos, and share them. Did I forget anything?
And turn on the post notifications.
Y'all heard them. And also, visit Statement Tees, LLC.com and shop with us. That's Statement Tees. Every t-shirt you wear
Makes a statement.